Nagatoro is good, y'all just suck. I know it's not the best way to start off a video, but I'm speaking the truth because goddamn, y'all really be slamming this show based on the whole entire trailer and everything that encompasses it, saying that it's cringe and it's really a bad show. And I'm pretty sure y'all have only seen a few episodes if you have even seen it at all, speaking to those who criticize it for being bad. There seems to always be some sort of controversy that follows this show, whether it's people getting upset about her being tan, or saying that it's cringe, that it promotes bullying, that pedophilia is something that's involved, and that people are making a big assumption, oh, it can't be good because the mangaka is someone who drew hentai. When flash forward, and let me give you a little bit of a warning, most mangaka artists get their start in making hentai, so it's out there. And my response to all those things that people say about Nagatoro is that no, no, it doesn't. It doesn't do any of those things that I just listed at all. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it is the best, the absolute best show of this entire spring season, or that it's even in, my top 5 of all time, but I will say honestly that it is a breath of fresh air when it comes to the anime that I've seen, because usually I watch drama-focused shows that have elements of comedy in them, something like Beastars, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Fairy Tail. But this is one that is purely comedy, and it's a slice of life, which is something that, I'm not too fond of. I've seen a couple of slice of life, and I wasn't really too thrilled about it, but Nagatoro manages to make it fun and interesting. So for those of you who are not aware of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, it is a comedy about a boy who's just trying to live his life, trying to make art in peace. But one day he meets Nagatoro, and although she does tease and make fun of him to the point where he does end up crying, she makes him his senpai, and the two go through life while making each other better people. Your first impression of Nagatoro is that she seems almost a little bit of a brat because, she's loud. Almost all of the time she's a little bit teasing slash mean, she's nasty and lewd as all hell, but as each episode goes on, slowly that facade begins to fall apart. There are parts in the series where she teases her senpai to do something like tickle her, for example, and as he gets closer and closer to tickling her, you can see that she starts to get nervous. And you can see it written all over her face and her expression. Deep down, she is just, a regular person like you or me. Plus, not to mention, she has this facade of senpai being hers. Like, she gets all sorts of pissed when any of her friends mess around with him or even try to touch him. And honestly, it's really funny and cute. And a little bit terrifying, especially when you see Nagatoro and her deep-seated eyes, that deep-seated stare of hers. But like I said, it's cute to see Nagatoro get all jealous, because based on your first meeting of her, you wouldn't expect that from her at all. There is this huge perception that if you like this show, then there's something that's probably wrong with you. Because, the masses, they'll all say it's basically hentai, but that's not really the case. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty of lewdness thrown all over this show, but it isn't all incredibly lewd all of the time. In fact, there are many moments of warmth and cuteness that reminds me of what it was like, having my first love, as well as growing up, finding out just what kind of person I want to be. And I feel as though if the haters would just sit down, watch this show, they would see what is so great about it. Nagatoro herself is just, an amazing character, and the best one in the show, with her explosive energy and her always teasing nature. How she toys with Senpai is great because it never stops, but it also never seems to cross the line, except in episode 1 where she, makes him cry. And honestly, the person that they picked to do the voice for her was honestly the perfect choice because she just fits the character so well. Like, if they casted anyone else, then it wouldn't have been as good as it is now, in my opinion. And if they do make a dub, because I know they made a dub for Uzaki-chan and stuff like that, I'm not sure that I would watch it just because Nagatoro is so perfectly cast here, The teasing also, since we are speaking about her, serves a big, nature and a big part. And we get into mild anime spoilers for the last episode. And one of the few times, the few first times we see Nagatoro, she teases Senpai, making it seem like she's going to kiss him before flicking him and making him snap back to reality. And we've seen these characters grow and grow through so much in this show that it almost feels natural and well-deserved, when Senpai says that, he only wants to draw Nagatoro. And look at, I'm gonna put up a picture of the reaction. When he says that, she gives the cutest smile in the world. And when later in that episode, she teases Senpai the exact same way again, for him to close his eyes, and he doesn't want to do it, but he's like, I'm gonna do it with, the same trick that's been used before. But this time, she kisses him on the cheek. And that moment, it feels amazing, it feels earned, and you feel excited as all fuck for what's going to happen next. And you're invested, and you're like, yes, yes, I rewatched that moment like 10 plus times, and I still enjoy watching the hell out of that moment. The character of Senpai and Nagatoro within each episode not only get closer to each other, but end up helping each other grow as people. Like when Senpai has to go up against the president of the art club in an art competition for the fate of the club, that he loves so much. At first, Senpai doubts that he could even win. But it's with the help of Nagatoro and her friends that they make him believe in himself that he can win this. And although he wins on a technicality, he's still pushed himself to try, as opposed to what probably would have happened and had he not had Nagatoro in his life, and that would be probably give up. Nagatoro also helps him get in better shape, and Senpai helps her out multiple times throughout the story, like saving her from dying from the sun in that one episode where they get to the ice cream shop. And it's these little events that add up, and they are what make the show. Yes, there is lewdness. Yes, it is very comedy focused. Yes, it can be a little corny, but I always wanted more. I have a busy schedule enough as is, especially with my training to become a pro wrestler, but I binge watched all of the episodes in just a few days because of how invested I was and just how funny the show was. I had so many gut-busting laughs that I lost count, and that hasn't happened to me in a long time in regards to any sort of medium. So it shows how funny Nagatoro really is. I honestly feel as though if you give this show a shot, then you won't be disappointed, because those heartwarming moments are honestly really great. And I can't wait to see what they do when it comes to season 2. If there is one, because y'all suck and want to give it low scores on Mal when it's actually really great. But like I said, I highly recommend it, and I think that you'll find that Nagatoro is something that's actually quite amazing. Now, all I need to do is find a girl who will bully and tease me, too. No, wait!